This is the instruction for completing your color wheel project as an 8th grade art student. The materials you'll need for step 1 is a pencil, a ruler, a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and a compass. Because the paper is 12 by 12, you're going to want to find the center, which will be 6 inches from either side or top and bottom. Place a little dot. This becomes the center for my compass. Your next step is to make 3 circles. So I'll place the center of my compass on the dot, and I'll go to about 2.5 inches on the compass's scale and complete my first circle. I'll then move out to about 5.5 and repeat that. And then lastly, out to about 8.5 and complete a third. Once I have that there, I'm going to keep my compass where it was, and I'm going to use the center ring to make a small. So now we have a bullseye shape with 1, 2, 3 rings and a center circle. Part 2, or step 2, requires me to divide up my circle so that I'll have the ability to make my 12 primary, secondary, and intermediate colors. The best way to do this is to make the outside of your color wheel reflect the numbers on a clock. So what one will do is start and write the number 12 at the top, the number 6 at the bottom, 9 and 3, and then place equally spaced the remaining numbers. That way I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through 12 to make my colors. Now it's really important that you have these numbers equally spaced, because we're going to divide this up with triangles. The first thing I want to do is go from in between the 12 and the 1 to the 7 and the 6 and make my line. I'm making sure that each pass with my ruler hits the center dot that we made in the previous step. So my lines should go in between the numbers that I've made. I prefer turning my paper as I work so that my ruler can stay in a comfortable position. This has now allowed me to divide my color wheel into the various areas for my color. Next, I'm going to label them using the color wheel, and I'm going to put the colors right underneath the numbers. So I have my yellow, yellow-green, green, blue-green, blue, blue-violet, violet, red-violet, red, red-orange, orange, and yellow-orange, allowing my center circle to be my neutral gray. To complete step 3, you'll need a palette with the 3 primary colors plus black and white to make tints and shades. Notice the small amount of paint in each painter's well. It's not full, it's not overflowing. This should allow you to complete all of step 3 with some excess. I'll also need a paintbrush and a water bucket and likely a paper towel. The first thing I'll do is use my primary colors and paint the center shape the natural hue or the natural pure color. Generally, when I'm painting a shape, I'll pay attention to the outline edge and then fill that in. I'll use my well to make tints on the outside edge, shades in the inside triangle. So you might remember that your shades will go into the triangle. To do this, I'll take a bit of my natural hue or my primary color, clean my brush, and add a small amount of white to make my tint. I want to see the color change, so I'll continue to add white until I feel like I've reached that goal. And then I'll repeat, and I'll paint my tint in the outside shape. Clean my brush. I'm going to take more. And add a very small amount of black. Black's very powerful, so it will change very drastically. If I use too much black, very similar to what I have here, I can go back and add more of my primary color to that. And then I will paint the triangle, the shade. With this project, one thing that I'll be assessing or grading you on is your craftsmanship and neatness. So pay attention, make sure you have a small paintbrush. Then I'll move and I'll do my blue, starting with the pure color, adding my tint,